transpires between us and developers is recorded and can be seen as any way to feel sort of detriment to the project. So I'm happy to move this recommendation there.
Thank you, Councillor B. Councillor B.
Thank you to you, Madam Mayor. I'm supportive of the registration as well. I guess having gone through the process myself, having had to register an interaction, I guess it was somewhat, could I say, frustrating because we've always done the best of our own ability. We've had a phone call and just a local resident inquiry about even just a subdivision of a small lot, or would have been a smaller or a larger lot as well, but we've never done it in a way that it's been of our own interest as such. It's always been about information gathering for our residents. And I feel because of what's happened at another council and this is through the local government act, that now we've got these implications, it does make it that little bit tougher now to know how much we can actually help our ratepayers with. And I guess it's never been more important, I guess, that we remind our locals to have those pre-planning meetings and go to those and to really know the best, and that's our officers. But it's hard because we're so public, and it's hard if people don't receive things. So where to start? What do you suggest? But you all of a sudden that becomes a register information that we need to admit to. So it's a good reminder. Having gone through the process myself, but it's seems to be over the top, but something to do these days.
Thank you, Councillor B. Any other comments? If not, I'll put the recommendation forward. All those in favour? Right, thank you. I move on to 9, which is officers' report, 9.1, council meeting dates for 2026. Ms. Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Review. This report provides recommendations for the scheduling of the council meetings for 2026. So 26 meetings are proposed to be held and taken on the 4th Tuesday of each month. With the exception of Sunday, the meeting will be held a bit earlier, and June the meeting will be held a bit earlier. There are the recommendations.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Council, for your recommendation, do I have a reason for that one, please? Councillor Strain. Councillor by Councillor Higgy. Councillor Strain.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and up until meeting, they're very much following along the same process we're doing for Tuesday. Other West Council, and I think really the community seems to with it as well, with obviously follows on the live stream. So I think keep things as well.
Thank you, Councillor Strain. Councillor Higgy.
Thank you, Mayor. I think this change to afternoon meetings has been very successful. It has ensured that we are abiding by our responsibility by making sure our officers are able to get home in the daylight hours, and again, by not working overtime to make sure that they're getting home with family on time to do the cooking, whatever they're doing. So I do support this. I think it's been a good change, and we're very happy to support it.
Thank you, Councillor Higgy. Any other comments, councillors? If not, I'll put the recommendation to vote. All those in favour? Motion carried. Thank you. Move on to item 9.2, council appointment to committees 2026. Ms. Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor, and for you. Council to appoint councillors to various and advisory and senior committees each year. This report was provided through today experience and ensure council's interests are represented.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Council, with the recommendation first, I will move for that one, please. Councillor Strain and Councillor Higgy, second it. Councillor Strain.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't think there's been any changes to council's representation, and if there is community asset advisory external body, so it's great to see council putting that there and representing council on those committees and boards.
No, thank you, Mayor. So I totally agree. This is a nuts and bolts of our business being us community organisations amongst boards, and I'm very happy to see everybody take an active role, and the positions have changed, so we're very happy to second the recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Higgy. Any comments, councillors? If not, the recommendation for the vote. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. I move on to items 9.3, Council Observant Days Calendar 2026. Ms. Johnson again.
Thank you, Mayor, and for you. The award of state honours has been developed to provide a clear framework for marking significant days throughout 2026. The attachments list these and that, 39 in total, that will acknowledge the year ahead of activities that will be undertaken. Mayor recommendations.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Councillors, there's a recommendation, go ahead and move into that one, please. Councillor Cole, Councillor Kennedy, Councillor Cole.
Thank you, yes. It's always very hard to work out calendar year and deal with those put down. So it's what this is all about, getting everything sorted out for the national days that are coming up, for local days and so coming up. So it's just checking off the calendar.
Thank you, Councillor Cole, Councillor Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, obviously this process needs to be to the community, engaging with the community and including the members of our community or the cultural differences that we have in our community. It's really recognition and and support because there are a lot of days in the calendar that deserve to have specific recognition and please say that council is quite a lengthy list that we deem worthy of
Thank you, Councillor Kennedy. Any other comments, councillors? I will just remind the public that if there is a day that you feel like we've missed, just to get in contact with the council office, and there's a process to go through to looking at how we observe that day. So there is a process if you feel like we've missed it, though, but I think we're going to get covered the majority of the occasion days. So if there's no other comments on the recommendation for guidelines in favour. No, thank you. I move under item 9.4, complaints handling policy, Ms. Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor, and through you. The complaints handling policy outlines the council's approach to making complaints to the public about staff, chemicals and council decisions. The updated policy ensures compliance with the Victorian Ombudsman's council complaints of good practice guide 2021 and the good practice guide complaint handling for Victorian public sector organisations. Also, 2025. Mayor, recommendations.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Councillors, there's a recommendation for us, so I have a move for that one, please. Councillor Beale, second, Councillor Kennedy, Councillor Beale.
Through my mayor, and the mayor's been more changes, somewhat cosmetic changes to these, a few additions, but it's really important that we do acknowledge the way in which we manage the complaints received. It'd be nice if it wasn't only just complaints we received, but positive feedback too. But obviously complaints are managed in a certain manner. I think it's very transparent, particularly to people if they want to remain anonymous, which may not always be as detailed as what has been in this particular policy update. But yeah, more than happy with this recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Beale. Councillor Kennedy.
Thank you. Not too much more about it, really. We do appreciate people providing feedback to us because we need to understand how people how our services and the way we conduct our activities so how they impact on the community and we need to understand what is in the community to improve, and that's part of the complaints policy as well. It's all about making things better on all sides, and so that we can provide their service to our community as well. So, yes, certainly we need to have a good practice guide that everyone needs to be as consistency to it and the policy.
Any other comments? If not, I will recommendation for the vote. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Moving on to item 9.5, the records management policy. Ms. Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor, and through you. The records management policy outlines the council's approach to managing records and sets the framework for record keeping responsibilities. The updated policy includes amendments for internal and external record keeping, including council responsibilities for overall record. Mayor, recommendations.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Councillors, there's a recommendation for us to recommend these. Councillor Beale, Councillor Libby, Councillor Beale.
And I must say to you, Manager, so you have done an outstanding job following up these agenda items with you, so thank you. A lot of work involved, again, just like our previous agenda item, mainly just cosmetic changes, but again, a really significant policy that we have that can be related to particularly our staff, because it's more important, and how that everything is managed. We take for granted, I think, the amount of information that comes in and the various levels of information that comes in. It's important. You never know when there's that moment in time that you need to reference back to something, or how it's even circulated, or even how we need to relate it to something. So it's important that this policy is a tight one. So thank you. Happy to do that one.
Thank you, Councillor Beard. Councillor Hickey?
It's an important document, minimal changes, and we'll see.
Thank you, Councillor Hickey. Any other comments, councillors? If not, the recommendation to vote. All those in favour? Carried. Item 9.6, S6A, Instrument of Delegation Council to Council Staff. Ms. Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor, and through you. The S6A instrument of delegation has been prepared as a response to the recent changes to the Planning and Environment Act 1987, which commenced on 20 November 2025. It complements the S6 instrument that will be subsumed into the Ability 2026. Mayor, recommendations.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Councillors, there's a recommendation. Do I have a mover, please? Councillor Canadian, do I have a second, please? Councillor Australian, Councillor Canadian, please.
Well, it's procedural, so.
No worries, thank you, Councillor Canadian. No worries, thank you. Councillors, with no more comments, I'll put the recommendation to a vote. All those in favour? Carried, thank you. Rightio, move on to 9.7, the Domestic Waste Water System Contribution Policy, Program Policy. Sorry, Ms. Finley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Domestic Wastewater System Contribution Program was developed in response to feedback provided to Council 7 years ago that the high costs associated with wastewater treatment on small blocks is a barrier to development. The program provides a financial incentive for the development of new housing in the Shire on lots in townships that are not serviced by reticulated sewage systems, and this includes the towns of Darlington, Derrinella, Lismore, Europe and Queenstown. The benefits of the program increases in both population and economic activity for the Shire. The report proposes to revoke the current Domestic Wastewater System Contribution Program policy dated July 23 and adopt an updated policy for the next 4-year period. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Finley. Councillors, there's a recommendation before us. Do I have a mover for that one, please? Councillor Canadian, do I have a second, please? Councillor Hickey, Councillor Canadian.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, the Domestic Wastewater System Contribution Program Policy is one of enablement, really, to introduce those barriers to dwelling development in our smaller towns, as Ms. Finley said, the ones that aren't serviced by reticulated sewage systems, and we have 3 or 4, 5, 6 towns maybe that sit in that category. Of course, we all know that domestic wastewater management needs to be done at the highest possible standard. But quite often in these smaller towns, we need to people who are proposing to build need to undertake a land capability assessment, and EPA approvals might be required, and of course the cost of that can be prohibitive. So I think this is a really good program to help people to at least negotiate and navigate that process. And I understand that it actually has been operating very productively and been really well received. With $5,000 is a one-off grant, it's pretty handy, really. I think it's really good level of support, and I think the policy updates be a response to changes in CIP and having provided some clarity around some of the particular items within the policy, so that the program remains good. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Canadian. Councillor Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, it's a great policy and a great help to those who have to provide such provision of the building blocks. There's 15 steps that need to be carefully worked through. So it's a procedure that is well regulated, but it's a great policy that we have. So I'm very, very happy to second it.
Thank you, Councillor.
Too.
Any other comments? Councillor Beard.
Sorry, just a quick question around this one, and sorry it's without notice. Noticing the valuation, so we've increased it from 200,000 to 210 for block value for land. And just thinking of the places, the locations where typically, particularly around the coastal areas, where these applications may more so be applied for, is 210 still enough? Of a reflection here, please.
Per unit and then use based on the valuations that have been provided to us for the lots of land in those areas that we mentioned previously.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Beard. Councillor Strang.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Question in that notice, I apologise. The uptake of this policy, of this project, program, I should say.
There are currently, there are currently 5 applications that we've done. So we do have an education application, but they're only a couple of years. So and the payment is only made upon completion rather than upfront.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Strang. No other comments? I'll put the recommendation for vote. All those in favour? Carried. I move on to 9.8, the portable and attractive assets policy. Mr. Broadbent.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor. This report presents an updated policy relating to council's portable and attractive assets. The policy establishes a clear framework for managing, monitoring and reporting on the purchase, storage, use and disposal of these assets. The policy has been updated with minor changes. It should be noted that the officer role titles referenced in the policy may change from time to time without affecting the overall intent of the policy. It's recommended that council revokes the previous policy and adopts the revised policy dated December 2025. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Broadbent. Councillors, there's a recommendation before us. Do I have a mover for that one, please? Councillor Vogels. Do I have a seconder, please? Councillor Hickey. Councillor Vogels.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. I think this is a sensible housekeeping update on the policy, and it strengthens how we track the smaller valuable items like IT equipment, power tools, like your Makita drills and chainsaws and some surveying equipment and stuff. Stuff unlike your phone that you can't have a Find My Chainsaw app if it's sitting around somewhere, so it's good to have a record of where they've gone and where they're coming, reducing the risk of misplacement and loss. So it's minor changes consistent with our existing asset practices and supports good financial governance, so I'm comfortable to support the adoption of the updated policy.
Thank you, Mr. Vogels. Oh, Mr. Vogels. Councillor Vogels, sorry. Councillor Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. A good update. Just one question to Mr. Broadbent. The term attractive assets is possibly some people, and I'm asking this for a friend, what that means.
It means they are attractive to other people potentially and can be taken or stolen. So they're portable as well. So
Not as in how they look.
not how they look. No, it's not how they look.
Okay.
Attractive to own potentially.
Thank you for making that clarification. Happy to second the motion.
No worries, thank you. Is there any other comments, councillors? If not, I'll put the recommendation to vote. All those in favour? Carried, thank you. I move on to item 10, which is other business. Councillors, do you have any other business you'd like to raise with in the forum today? Councillor Cole.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I'd just like to raise a matter that's come up recently. The government have announced the deferment only of the fire service levy. I think a better option would be the absolute abolition of the fire service levy, especially in its current form. It unfairly hits farmers out there with a much increased levy and would, in a council like Corangamite, would literally rip the financial well-being of the community by taking huge amounts of money out of the community. And I think it should be not deferred but abolished. It's still also, when it's only deferred for 2 years, and when it comes back in, the Shire is still the tax collector at the moment, and Shires are not tax collectors for the state government. The state government should own it themselves, and if they want to bring it in, which I hope they don't, but they should step up and take responsibility for it completely. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Cole. Is there any other Councillor Hickey?
Good, thank you, Mayor. On Friday evening, I was delighted to welcome everybody to the carols, the community carols held in Theatre Royal in Camperdown. And I just wanted to congratulate all the organisers and our staff and the performers who made that evening such a wonderful event. It's incredible the amount of talent that is actually within our community, and we're very, very proud of those who took part in the stage. On the stage, and the community singing in the auditorium was also excellent, I'd have to say. So just wanted to point out the fact that I know there's other community carols happening in the next couple of days. So yeah, please get along and enjoy the spirit of Christmas and sing up loudly.
Thank you, Councillor Hickey. Councillors, anything else? No. Mr. CEO, is there any questions or statements from social media? Okay. I know we have a few people in the gallery today. If you're wanting to speak, come up to the lectern, state your name. You have 5 minutes and you can have a say. Anyone like to jump up? Hold on. Sarah, can you just pull the microphone on, please? Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Linda Pender, and I just want to discuss some of the things from the last meeting we were here about the playground.
Sure, no problem. So it's 5 minutes and ask away. Yep.
Well, we spoke about parking. We'd park on the grass like the members of the Masonic Lodge did and the public does. Fire hazard was brought up. Timburn is in a fire hazard zone. You just have to go and look down at the rail trail. That has more fire hazard than the trees in the park. I spent a year or two ago cleaning the twigs and sticks and bark under the trees. We have planted native trees in there too. Funding. Why wasn't it brought up at the meeting that we are willing to get grants and fundraise for the park? And what about the 99 peppercorn rental on the park? A lady was working with the council. She was the asset accountant. It was a 99-year type lease. Timburn is supposed to be growing, so I think we need this park, especially with all the building blocks that are for sale. Thanks for listening, and I hope you all have a good Christmas.
Thank you, Ms. Pender. We can get back to you regarding the peppercorn lease stuff. We'll get a response to you in the next few days. Okay, not a problem. Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to ask 3 questions if I could. First of all, with the sale yards, has anyone got any brilliant ideas as what may be done with it? Because it's not nice to see it just sitting there rotting away, and I think even if we had a competition for someone to bring up a good idea. The other one is how is the truck wash going? Because the truck wash is a necessary part of farming, because the truck drivers are having to travel great distances, and if they skip and spread a disease, that would be disastrous. I know that the truck drivers are very good, but it really ends up costing most farmers a little bit extra, because the drivers of the truck can't run them for nothing, so it needs to be done. And the other one is more of a suggestion than a question, and that is that because the knackery has had to put their prices up, if farmers, and that is on a dead animal, and if the animal is not beating when the knackery comes to pick it up, it's a vast cost. And may I suggest that this can't happen, because a lot of farmers will just put it up the back or a half dug hole, and if we do return to heavy rains, then we'll know what pollution's all about. And can I suggest that if there's plenty of compost there seems to be at the landfill, if animal were put in the compost, they would rot down, and that would make a compost that is more than twice as valuable as it is now, because if it's only just organic material, it's a so what material, but with animal waste in the compost, it will vast add to its value, and then it's possible that people would want it more, and I don't think you would lose out. You would gain dramatically by stopping disease from spreading, by having it rot down properly, and by making a product that is very, very valuable. And I thank you very much for allowing me up, and I wish everyone compliments of the season. And whilst some experts are saying the year is going to be tough, I'm very convinced for farmers and miners, we will survive very well, and I wish everyone very well for the coming season. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mulholland. Did you want to take those questions on notice, Mr CEO?
I can respond
Yeah, sure.
to those questions, and to Mr Mulholland's suggestion regarding the deceased livestock. Thank you. We can certainly take that on notice and for consideration. There's probably two issues. I can speak to the truck wash matter. In relation to the truck wash, I'm a member of the state government's Victorian Truck Wash Advisory Committee, of which the challenges around regional truck washes, particularly in Corangamite Shire, has been raised, and this is a matter currently before the state government, and that will conclude around about March next year. It's not to say that we're going to see a resolution to the issue, but the matter around truck washes for local and regional livestock transport is an important issue. It's something that the council will continue to advocate for. And council may recall in April this year, he resolved to not reopen the existing truck wash, but to, act in the role of facilitating the advocator for truck wash facilities for Corangamite Shire. In relation to the future use of sale yards, Mayor, if I may ask Mr. Sale, they'll perhaps respond.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Mulholland, for the question. With regard to the sale yards in Camperdown, the former sale yard site, the Camperdown structure plan was approved by council last meeting on the 25th of November, and part of the structure plan effectively retains that sale yards area as an industrially zoned land, so that we can now commence seeking potential investors into that site, whether it's for industrial land or commercial or transport and distribution related activity, and we will commence that in the new year. So definitely the first hurdle was getting through the structure plan, but we don't require any changes to that land use zoning, which is a great thing, and we can now go ahead with seeking further investors. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms Lindley. Next person.
Yep. I'm here to speak on 2 matters again. So number 1 will be the playground. Number 2 will be a subdivision. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Beautiful. My name's Darren Blaine. You probably all know me from the last meeting. You'll probably see me at the next one as well. But in dealing with the playground, as you know, last time I sort of fell into that, so I took on a bit of a spokesman's role for the group, and I contacted the 1IC at the Freemasons to do with the playground. Now, according to him, so they sent a map with its indicative area for the playground. Now, that was indicative. They were hoping for a response back from the Shire as to whether that covered the amount of ground that was required or not. So that'll be part of the question on notice. According to him, no correspondence was received.
I'll take those questions.
I'll do that. So these are the questions I notice. Copies of email traffic to and from the Freemasons, transcripts / notes of any briefings or meetings between Shire councillors and employees, planning, whatever, relating to the Freemasons and the playground. And that's really about it. But I did have a long chat with him, and he was disappointed with the lack of response from the Shire, which, had there been a positive response, the outcome would have been positive. Meaning that they were willing to gift further area, they just did not know the amount of area that was required. I did send a email or a text to a member of the planning department asking for a map with the title lines on it, so I knew what the title was. I still haven't heard back from that person. I ended up putting one together myself, and as he said, that would have sufficed and that would have got over the line. He also claimed he had that for 100 days. Now that's all hearsay until somebody sends me that information or we get that information as questions on notice. That's about it really. But may I say that the disappointment in when I spoke to him, Robert was his name, Robert Kozlozovich, that this could have been handled a lot better by council. Honestly, this could have had a successful outcome. And maybe council doesn't want to do another playground. And someone said there was 8,000 put aside as the cost of running the playground. Well, what was expensed? It's all too late now. The door's almost shut on it. I have left. I've left on a positive note with the Freemasons. There may be a very slight, and I mean slight chance that it may come through, but I wanted to appeal to their board. So there's two boards. The Freemasons have one board with all the Grand Masters, and the other board is to do with assets. The Grand Masters met on the 28th of November after they got heard from this meeting, and they shut the door on it then. And so when the Grand Masters shut the door, the assets board shut the door. But anyway, that was disappointing from my behalf and from his as well. So, but anyway, that's all on that matter. But those questions are on notice, and I do, for no other reason, just an answer to why. Is there a failure within the Shire that nobody did it? Was it just that nobody wanted the playground? They didn't want it. I don't know. That's what we require an answer to. So, thank you for that. I'll move on to my other one, which is the subdivision stuff. I've asked for what the cost of legals are, which was a question I noticed over the past 3 years. And I want to, in particular, the cost to the Shire for this VCAT hearing, the legal cost, and not only the legal cost, it's the in-house cost as well. So it's a period of time that people with in-house have to spend going back and forward. With the questions I noticed I put up last time, I did receive correspondence from a member of your governance team. She's a very nice lady, but she did say that they weren't going to hand over all of that information I requested. I did, unfortunately, haven't been in the legal thing for a little while. There's only two reasons you withhold information. Number one, you're going to incriminate yourself or one of your employees or members or council staff. Number two, that what you're going to hand over is prejudicial to your case. So, if you bring down a veil of secrecy on it, you're likely to bullet a gate to get that information. So, that was just a comment.
Sorry, if I may, through you.
Yes.
I think I take umbrage to the comments that the withholding of information is about incriminating officers. I think we've crossed a very fine line there, Mr. Blaine.
No, I made 2 points.
No, I think you've made your point well clear, and what you're referring is that staff are effectively corrupt.
No, I'm not. It was 1 or 2 points. It's either, and I use the word either, you're going to incriminate yourself or a member of whoever, the staff, the council, whatever, or it's prejudicial to your case.
So the reason why we withhold through you there information, if I may, Mr. Blaine,
Yep.
is that it is under legal privilege or it is confidential in nature. In relation to your specific matter before the VCAT now, it's not appropriate that myself, council, or any other officer comment on proceedings in an open council forum.
Yeah, but these weren't, that was just these are just comments as a question I noticed about the cost of the VCAT hearing, because I wanted to put that into, for, just so that ratepayers and
Sorry,
the general
excuse
public.
me, Mr. Blank. Can you just clarify for me, please? And this is not supposed to be a backwards forwards question answer thing. This is just supposed to be an open forum. You get to state 2 questions in 5 minutes. So can you please state your questions to the council? I understand you've got questions on notice regarding the VCAT costs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a question on notice to council, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the next question, please?
So the question I noticed was the cost of the VCAT hearing. You will have had some sort of, they always put up an approximate cost. I wanted to know last time, and questions I noticed was about how much it costs to fix a pothole. It's pretty simple. I'm sure whoever's in the works department could tell me how much that is.
If I may, so in relation to the costs around legal matters, again, in your specific case, I'm not going to comment, but it's not appropriate I do so, because it is a case before VCAT.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, I'll speak in general terms, and my name's to blame. A VCAT hearing could cost as little as a couple of $1,000 up to many thousands of dollars, depending on the nature and complexity of the case and how long that case runs for. So I'll just leave that at that. In relation to the other matter around potholes, again, depending on the size of the pothole, its location, its depth, its width, etc., it could be as little as a couple of $100 to a couple of $1,000.
Thank you. And in relation to the cost of the VCAT hearing, and any costs, as a ratepayer, I'm entitled to get that information, and it will be in your audited accounts.
Madam Mayor, again, I'm just referring to governance rules. This is not appropriate to be having this dialogue in an open forum, but I can say, Mr. Blaine, you're personally able to FOI costs. That's an avenue available to you. Again, in relation to your matter, it's not appropriate that I make a public comment on a VCAT hearing.
And I think with the cost of it being a couple of thousand, I can assure you it will be upward of probably 100K.
So, Mr. Blaine, you've asked your 2 questions. We are at 5 minutes of this time.
On this subject?
On this subject, yes.
No.
We're at 5 minutes.
No, okay.
So is there one last question? If not, I'll ask you to take a seat, please.
So questions and comments are 2 different things?
Correct. Questions
Very
and
good.
comments are 2 totally different things. You're
Yep.
at 5 minutes. If there's one more question, please ask that question. If not, please take your seat.
As a comment I asked last time, but I'm making a comment this time about the number of houses that were being demolished.
And I just said you're at 5 minutes.
As a question on notice, okay. I'm just adding that thus far, driving around, there's been 3 houses demolished.
Mr. Blaine, what
That's
is
a
your...
comment.
No, and I've just said to you that you're at 5 minutes. I asked for one more question.
Okay.
What is your last question? If you do not have a question, can you please sit down?
No, I've got a couple more, but I'll just do one.
But you're at 5 minutes, Mr. Blaine.
Okay, I'll just leave it at that then. It'll be fine. I'll do it at the next meeting.
Thank you.
And thank you for your time, and I do wish everyone a wonderful Christmas.
Thank you, Mr. Blaine. Anyone else like to step up to open forum, please?
Hi, my name's Sheree Johnstone. I live in Timboon. I'd like to speak about the park.
Please do.
I actually have a question regarding if the park is lost, would there be any upgrades to pedestrian crossings for the people of that side of town to reach the park down the street?
So that would be a question, for my Works and Services Director, Mr. Broadbent. Maybe a question on notice, or would you like to answer that one right now?
I'm happy to answer that one now. Thank you, and through you, Madam Mayor, thank you for the question. There's nothing planned at this stage for those upgrades, for any upgrades to pedestrian crossings.
Okay. So my concern is that the children from our side of town have to literally zigzag across all the way to in front of the Fat Cow to be able to cross the street safely, to then walk all the way back to where the bank is, to cross the street again, to get to that park. So I feel that potentially something might need to be done to upgrade or make it a little bit safer in town to get the children there without being injured, hurt, or otherwise. So, if the loss of the park would be, I'd be wanting more safety for children to get there. So, but thank you very much for listening and enjoy your Christmas.
Thank you, Ms Johnson. I think we may have a slight
Mr.
answer for you.
Johnson, if I may, through the mayor, is suggest that we have community consultation opening up with regards to next year's budget.
Yep.
26-27. I'd invite you to make a submission to that process around infrastructure upgrades in regards to pedestrian safety as you described. We talked to Mr. Flanagan here at the end of the meeting. He can help find you or help navigate you to that website.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else in open forum? No. Excellent. On that note, can I call for a motion to suspend standing orders, please? Councillor Vogels, can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Beard. All those in favour? Lovely. I would just like to say to everyone, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If you are travelling around, please travel safely. Please enjoy these times with your family and friends. Take a moment to take a breath and just really relax and enjoy. I think the tragedies that have happened this week have just shown us how valuable life is, so please enjoy it. Please love your loved ones more and more. Take those memories and keep them close to your heart, please. They are very important. You will never get them back again. So thank you to my fellow councillors. Thank you to council staff and all the residents out there. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we look forward to seeing you back in 2026. Thank you very much.
Let's see.